Alrighty, hello every folks, and good evening to anyone that is here already. So today we're going to be doing a bit of a live test here, a bit of a early first impressions here on the ANNULUS playtest. So for those interested in taking a look at this thing, we'll have a link in the description there. Basically, the general idea is that this isn't quite out yet. Sounds like release is going to be sometime in January. So for anyone that wanted to put in their input or throw some thoughts out there, kind of put their finger on the scale, so to speak, that's going to be what this is all about here today. Okay, so I'm starting this a few minutes early so that we can make sure that everything is running properly as you do. So we'll go ahead and get that going here. It should just start normally here. There was a update immediately as soon as the playtest came up here. So the demo is live at this point. So this is going to be essentially just kind of starting over from scratch. I had a first impressions that I did a video of, which actually will be going live tomorrow. Now, here we'll go ahead and leave this playing. This is, I believe this is all in Chinese at the moment. From what I understand, there might be other languages down the road, but I don't know for sure. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. But essentially what we're looking at here today is going to be a kind of essentially an adaptable SRPG, sort of in the vein of sort of along the lines of a triangle strategy SOC kind of deal here. Basic deal being that we've got an adaptable story, essentially adapts somewhere along the lines to the stuff that you end up doing. A setting that's very similar to Berserk in many ways, and essentially from there we've got a system for your units that essentially causes them to get kind of malformed and transformed into new things as time goes on. Now, I don't know if this intro is going to play out the same way as the one that I was originally given a first impressions kind of demo for here. So I guess we'll find out in a bit of a second here, but let me go ahead and make sure that everything is running properly first and foremost. See what we're looking like here. I'll be just one moment here. Just verify that everything is going. Alright, and if anybody happens to be here in the chat, if you could let me know how we're doing on audio here. Oh, also, hi there, Andy, how's it going? Hope everything's going well on your end as well here. Okay, so we've got a lot of different terrain effects in this one. Now, I haven't seen the full extent of all of these, but everything from trap tiles to modification tiles and whatever else. We'll see more of that as time goes on here. It seems like most of this is fairly straightforward as it was before. I was actually saying in the kind of initial playtest thing, if I were to throw out my 2 cents on what they should do with this kind of initial intro here, is to actually just skip straight into the game. I kind of feel like from at least many folks coming out of the I guess more long-term SRPG crowd and whatever else there, most of y'all I would feel pretty safe going over to the skip button to go past all of this, since it tends to make more sense in retrospect than it does at the moment here. Audio sounds decent. Glad to hear it. But yeah, let me know if anything here looks familiar to you as far as this setting and stuff is concerned. Because that's actually, when I originally got the email, that was one of those things that was kind of interesting to me. They're like, well, it's a setting that may look familiar, but it's essentially a situation in which your people end up supposedly getting more and more, malformed into their respective niches as time goes on, so that seemed kind of nifty. So, again, we'll see how that all ends up playing out. There's the guy previously known as the leader of this merry band of dudes getting sucked into the sky by tentacles, as you do. Typical Tuesday in Detroit. What can you do? The rainy weather just gets real bad over there. Anyway, crazy fog tentacle thing comes out. And he comes back as this thing. So yeah, for what it's worth, I may have zero clue as to what's going on, but it does look pretty. Now, again, if anyone is interested in, taking a look at this whole thing, as I understand it, the PC version right now is the one that's around. That's going to be the one with the link to the playtest there. Well, you know, she was all chatty a moment ago. Not so much anymore. But yeah, so they start you off with the intro. That first initial fight where they have you click on a few things and then it goes back to this, I kind of feel like it could just go straight into the movie here, to be honest. Like, this is just kind of like a you know, personal thing. Like, personally, when it comes to a lot of these kind of intros, like I see Fire Emblem do this all the time as well. It's fairly you know, commonplace and whatever else to do this kind of intro. But I don't know. In my personal opinion, it makes it easier to follow when it's just the movie and then you get straight into the game. But you know, it is what it is. All right, and yeah, if anyone else can let me know on audio, that would be nice to know. Again, I'm pretty sure we're already fine to go as it is, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. And let me know how frame rate's looking as well. It seems okay on my end, but you never know with these things, especially considering that we are looking at an earlier version here today. I can't quite tweak a lot of the settings here, so we will see, again, the usual kind of thing you'd expect from taking a look at stuff a little bit early and what have you. All right. There we go through all of this, and yeah, we'll be done with this intro in a little bit. It's not a terribly long one, but we do the whole intro before the intro kind of situation here. So essentially, the way that the story is meant to be playing out here, as I understand it, that's one of the ways that it can end up going. Again, very similar to the way to some of the stuff I was saying about SOC, where you know you honestly could just go ahead and start with the game there. But what we see here is that they're essentially trapped between multiple different factions, kind of a very, you know, very Band of the Hawk type deal when it comes to your main crew there, kind of stuck in the middle of several different groups, and the idea is that you're supposed to be sort of like picking out different routes as to where you go through there, as I understand it. I don't know the full extent to what the story is supposed to be adapting there, so I'm just kind of spitballing some of this stuff based off what I understand of it so far. And anyways, we'll see more of that as it goes on. All right. Through this, and if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will attempt to answer them anyway. I have again, I have I would say a couple of hours into this thing at this point. But right now we'll just be going into the maps and stuff, talking about game mechanics and that sort of thing. Let's see, have you heard about the new Brigandine announcement? What are your feelings on the games in the series? I mean, Brigandine, okay, it's one of these ones that's been on my list since forever. I wanted to do a bit more about that one as we were going on. I didn't see the new announcement. I saw some trailer art for it popping up over on the One Vision Discord, I believe, but I haven't taken a look at that one in particular. But yeah, no, as far as the series goes, that general idea of just kind of like taking over the area as you will, you know, I always liked that format. I'm trying to remember the name. I think it was Lords of Magic or something like that. Was the last one of those I played, like as far as like going back to the ye old days kinds of games there. But I don't even know what you'd call that format exactly. But either way, it's a cozy one. I for some reason I always start those, get like 2/3 of the way through, and then get distracted by something else. But yeah, no. That's still on the list to cover at some point, as are like a million other things, which, as always, apologies for that. But okay. So we got our first set of maps here today. Go ahead and do one of these things. As far as the whole budgeting for, you know, currencies for starting a fight or whatever else, I haven't seen that come up as a factor as of, you know, the first few hours of the thing, but again, can't say for sure how that will end up looking in the future. I know that's something that always ends up coming up in discussions with these, so just kind of throwing that out there. I don't know. I haven't seen it come up as an issue of any variety as of yet, but I don't know. And also, hold on, we will be adjusting one thing I want to do here. Here, let's skip all this. Where is the thing? Let me get my settings. We gotta adjust some stuff here real quick. So I hope y'all are okay with this. As far as sound and stuff like that goes, when it comes to the voices, yeah, unless it's something very specific, like I loved Tor's voice acting, loved FFT's voice acting, I prefer to play without voices. Hope y'all are okay with that. We're just gonna go ahead and go from there. Okay. Anyway, we'll go from there. Image-wise, we'll go ahead and adjust a couple of things here. Let's go ahead and set it to custom. Let's go set a few things over. I think it was AA that was the one that was maybe slowing it down a little bit, because I did notice a little jitter, so I'd like to get that ideally figured out there. So we'll see if that ends up looking a bit smoother. Alright, there we go. And we'll go ahead and go from there. Again, typically when stuff like this comes out, isn't always optimized for Linux, so, you know, as you'd kind of expect here. See, game map, flags, remove it. Master of Monsters. No, that was, I think it was called Lords of Magic. It was, what was it? It was basically one that you just sort of like picked one of several colors, more or less, or what have you, and then that just wound up with any other faction. You would essentially take over one faction, take them as the leaders for like your faction all of a sudden, and if anything happened to, let's say, your faction's leader, then they would end up going and replacing them, and then you would play as this other faction for a while. Hang on, what on earth just happened here? Okay, so that's good, that's good. Okay, there we go. I'm over here hitting escape thinking that it's stuck or something. Yeah, no, it's fine. I just didn't hit the button right. So there we go. All right, now let's go ahead and get into mechanics here. So as far as this one goes, we've got your sort of Fire Emblem-esque type deal here, with spears beating swords, swords beat axes, axes beat spears, that sort of deal. However, we have terrain effects that are going to be a bit more similar to a few other bits and pieces out there. You know, anything from the ground being wet to the ground being cold, that sort of thing there, as well as stuff like fire being pretty busted for the most part. I would say fire really takes the cake as far as your DOTs on this one go. Like, you could basically set everything on fire, walk away, and you're probably going to win most of the early game stuff as far as I've seen. So there's that. Okay. Some impassable terrain over there. As far as moving around your camera and what have you, there was a thing for that. You have a few different options here. I don't think there's a free roam camera, but I could be wrong on that. So bear in mind there might be some stuff I'm missing. Again, you know, still fairly early into this whole thing. It's still through its whole playtesting period, as it were, here. So there's going to be some stuff that I just plain don't know. Anyway, we'll just go ahead and move, pop them there, and there you go. And they're already done. They're going to cook off, and we're done here. Alrighty. Lots of your usual intro fights and what have you at this point. As far as what all the currencies are, we'll get to that as time goes on. But here, I think it's going to show us the... yeah, there we go. I think it's going to show the rank up thing here. So, again, one of the gimmicks of this one is going to be the kind of transformation type deal here. Alright, trying to get to that. And that is their current thing. I'm clicking on the thing. I do kind of wish that you could just go click directly on the thing instead of going to the tab, but it is what it is. So we've got... Pop him in there. Again, like, you know, perfect world, as far as I see it, would be like, you just kind of click on the thing, immediately pop somebody in there, and go from here. I'm assuming there's a reason that they have the couple of extra steps here to promote somebody as they do. Again, don't really have a whole lot of context as far as that goes. But yeah. Oh, we're supposed to go back to the list. I want to look at the other classes, though. Fine. Judgy hand of God over there. All right, now can I look at the other classes real quick? All right, let's see here. So, other stuff that's available. Yeah, Bernie guy that looks like he's going all Aztec on everybody. Apparently he's a water guy. He's quite moist. And we got the Michigan experience, and we got the lightning guy, and we got the toxin guy. Now, apparently, like, apparently past this, they, like, transform in some ways or something. I don't know as of yet. There's a few cases where you can see somebody transform, like we saw earlier, where that one leader guy got dragged off into the sky and turned into the Skull Knight looking situation. But again, all right. There, you're good there. That's fine there. Sure, why not? Yeah, a lot of the early ones are kind of what you'd expect here. Like everybody just hanging around the convenient poison tile and what have you. So, let's see. Have you go over here. We'll go ahead and see what we want to do here. Let's go for convenient axe guy. Yeah, so his thing is doing multiple follow-ups. I don't know what determines how many follow-ups he does, because I think he does one sometimes and multiple other times, so can't say for absolutely certain. This guy's got like a charging knockback type deal. We'll go ahead and have you just burn this guy for the time being. Then he goes and... let's actually drop one of those. You know what? Let's do this. Here, you take this, you drop this here. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, alright, never mind. Apparently skipped his turn. I was trying to get him to drop his AoE right there, but I think he was out of range. Here we go. Gets stuck in the way of the poison barrel, why not? There we go. And yeah, I think it's like, in total, I think the intro is like 5 or so maps long, if I recall correctly. See how it turns out. Alright. Let's see, they're still at the poison barrel place. You go ahead and go here, hit this guy, just run him over. Those, you go ahead and do your choppy chops on that guy. Not entirely. Oh, Wizard guy's frozen, that's why. So that was actually one of the other things. So as far as frozen characters, they seem to stay frozen until something thaws them out. So in some cases you can freeze somebody in place and just sort of leave them there. As to whether or not they thaw out over time, I'm not entirely certain, but it seems possible. But as far as I've seen, at least, again, as of what I saw so far, they would just sort of stay in place and just remain there until something ends up hitting them. Oh, I thought I turned the voices off. Pretty sure I turned the voices off. Let's, hold up. Did I not turn the voices off? I thought I did. I guess... oh, whoops. How did that happen? I somehow turned the effects off and left the voices on. Okay. That's my bad. Apparently while I was mashing buttons, we did that by mistake. Whoopsie. Alright. There we go. It's fixed. That sounds like a lot better. I was wondering where the sound effects were going. So you really appreciate games that let you skip the tutorial with an option to revisit if you need it. Yeah, and honestly, I would be skipping it right now. It's just... technically, so I probably should have mentioned. Okay, thank you to Nirvana, the people that made this one, and thank you to the developers of ANNULUS there for providing a sponsorship for this whole thing. Again, please go take a look at the whole playtest thing over in the description there if you'd like to give it a look. Throw out some feedback or what have you. And yeah, so yeah, I do appreciate that you can skip over this. It's just we're here to show off the intro and stuff. I know personally when I was going and testing through it, I'm just like, skip, get to the maps. That's always how I do these things, so there's that. Like, I'm here for the chessboard, as you do. Alright, so, let's see. I'm just going to go ahead and chargeify this guy into this thing. Do the explodies. There we go. They're both going to be on fire. Fire should roast this guy. He's probably done right there. Go ahead and have you move there. Do your slashes on this guy. Fire should then also finish him off. He does counter this, but that's fine. Probably should have had him maybe go for somebody else, but again, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. In the interest of making that all happen, we'll go ahead and target the poison barrel. I'm assuming the double DOTs on this guy will do enough to do that, and then everybody else should be donezo. There we go. So that aspect I appreciate. Like, this kind of situation where a lot of the maps are potentially going to be a bit of a puzzle, I like that kind of stuff. Now, whether that remains consistent, we'll see, there's no way to know immediately, as these things always go. You know, taking a look back at when somebody was very strongly recommending War of the Visions to me, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, it has all of these kind of map puzzle kind of deals. You said you love those kinds of things, and then it's like, you know, 100 plus maps in, and then just nothing's happened yet. So at least for what it's worth, when I was doing the first impressions thing here, at least you know, at least there was one map that managed to cause a loss early on. So I'll take it. You know what? Stuff's at least happening. So there's that. We've got the whole multi-objective thing going on. If you're a completionist sort, I suppose. Okay, let's see. You guys are fine. They did have a little bit of a thing. For hiring more people on, but this will be just fine, I'm fairly certain. Alright. Not to mention, for the intro, you actually get a guy that's, what's his face? I can't remember the name off the top of my head. The Wandering Knight guy from Unicorn Overlord. Does anybody remember his name? Because that's basically what's going on here with this intro. If at any point you get in trouble, dude just shows up and just starts winning fights for you, so... not really terribly worried about getting stuck anyway. Anyway, we'll just go ahead and burn our multi-hitter on this guy. There we go. I don't have any charges here, so I'm probably just going to have this guy go ahead and charge over this way for the time being. I'll have you move and wait for the time being. And thank you, Andy, for adding to the list there. Appreciate it. Again, these things do not come up very often, so it's always appreciated when they do. Alright, let's go ahead and burninate this guy. Actually, probably just do a basic attack on this guy. Because, yeah, the basic fire still burns, and the secondary wizard guy is like a burn plus poison. So, you know, nice, happy walking warcry as you do. Always appreciate when they have a debuff, or like a DOT stacking class, but... Alright, so they're down a horse. You probably just go ahead and go this way. For the time being, see if you want to go around and assist. They can appreciate puzzle elements, feel that if they lean too much into it, it no longer feels like an SRPG. Yeah, I mean, okay, to be fair, with Into the Breach, that's a... Like, in that particular case, it is obviously very puzzly, but I do still really personally love that one, just because it's like... It still retains some of its SRPG elements just on the fact of how random a lot of the things can be, and especially once you start doing your custom squads. Up until then, yeah, fair. Like, until you get custom squads rolling, it can feel a little bit like you're locked into a certain playstyle, but then, like, once you're like, oh, I can go get the judo guy over here, and then we can go ahead and combine it with this, like, warp mech over here, and then, just for good measure, we just get a smoke jet. You know? And you're just making all these kinds of goofy combos. Anyway. Man, this lady, like, it talks a whole lot for somebody that died, like, 3 seconds into the intro, you know? They're talking a whole lot. Talking down to everybody quite a bit for a lifespan of no seconds. But okay. It's like, I don't know if anybody else is ever like this in SRPGs, but it's just like, whenever anybody starts having an attitude, it's like, the first moment for you to to get written out of the story, we're doing that. It's like whether we had the... like Tactics Ogre and all that sort of thing. It's like whenever there came an opportunity to see Ravenous written out of the story in the most dramatic fashion possible, it's like, yep, we're just immediately going to do that, thanks. They kind of had that comment. Alright, anyways, let's see. Go ahead and chargeify this dude into the barrel. Go. He is roasted. I'm gonna have you go ahead and cook off what's left of this guy. Forgot about that. Yeah, so there's a version of burning that that causes a unit to explode. So that's basically what happened there. So yeah, I think it's just like called like explosive burning or something, which I think it's more like it's like an oil status kind of thing, which is probably what they got splashed with earlier. Or maybe something that the poison gas tiles do or something. But yeah, that dude frickin' exploded. So yeah, horsey go boom that's just a thing that happened. Also, you can put people over here on these little brain tentacle things, which yeah, causes stuff to happen. They give like little hints and what have you. So I think you might be able to actually leave these for other players too. Like there are some Dark Souls elements in this. I don't know. I'm assuming maybe once this is more of... Sure, why not? Let's go ahead and upvote it. So yeah, they basically got the message tiles and whatever else. So presumably somewhere down the line, there's going to be like a little messaging element. So, you know, you can do the usual, you know, try finger butthole kind of situations. I don't know if they're like pre-canned messages you can put down or something, if that's something that we can do later, but that seems like a thing that, you know that people will find a way to mess with that. All right, go ahead and move you over here. And, okay, they're poisoned. Again, we'll see. Yeah, so poison is explosive. Gotcha. The poison gas is just gas. And apparently, this dude absorbs gas. He is apparently a sponge. Good to know. Good to know. All right. Let's see. The intro and visual flavors give me Lovecraftian elements. Some class. Yeah, I mean, that's what they were going for. It's a very, like, Lovecraftian slash kind of like Berserk kind of deal seems to be what they were going for with the setting on this one. So that's pretty nifty. Now, again, it sounds like what ends up happening with your units down the line is that eventually they potentially get corrupted in such a way that allows them to then get twisted into all sorts of unnatural abominations and whatnot, which sounds pretty darn sweet. I haven't seen it yet, so we'll see when that happens. I know there's advanced versions of classes because you run into one later. Like, they give you one as part of the intro. They're like, oh, here you go. Here's one of these, like, boss transformations that can happen, and this dude's gonna completely whoop your ass. But how would you like to go ahead and use this free wizard we have just conveniently laying around over here? And then, you know, wizard beat bosses, apparently, is kind of the deal there. So, like, your basic soldiers are better for most situations, and then you got your wizards that are good for, you know, flashy boss situations. And we probably should recruit somebody, but we'll just go ahead and stubbornly continue with a 3 out of 4 until we get to that point. Alright. And I think I set something wrong. I think I might have set the text to Italian or something. Whatever, it's fine. Anyway, this dude go boom. Alright, so they're on fire. You're gonna go ahead and go here and just kind of wait. You will go ahead and burnate this man. Actually, you can't reach him anymore. Right, well, you're just going to wait for the moment then. Yeah, you got to be exactly 2 tiles away to burn, I believe. But we're going to be fine for the time being. Looks like just a couple archers. And one spear guy left after this. That one's just going to get dealt with right there. Yeah, when I was doing my first go through of this one, I ended up getting a cavalry guy that was pretty good at ramming through things. They did have like switcheroo elements and whatnot for this one, so there were other bits and pieces. Go and take a look at there, but there you go. Burn that guy. I probably should have used the sword for that particular thing because he doesn't have another use right now, but that's fine. Whatever. We'll deal with them as we do. Saw limited recruit. Is that? Yeah, they do have stuff like that on there. Basically, depending on how much booze you chuck at the recruitment system, that's what it gives you. It's like if you get the cheap booze, you get like a random dude, and then if you give a whole bunch of them, it gives you the shiny one with the fancy intro or whatever else. As far as their difference in fighting and whatever else, honestly, I prefer the cheap dudes from what experience I had with it. Like, you know, whenever I cover anything that has that sort of system in, you know, in games like this, I usually always end up just going out of my way to avoid using those as much as possible. And in this particular case, like, it had the fancy archer lady that got, you know, iced a few seconds into the intro there. And she was all right. Like, they had a lot of AoEs and fancy tricks and whatever else, but then also there was just dude on a giant pig that just showed up and was good at switching people around, and then you essentially, you go forward, you switch them around, they have like a thing that breaks their weapon, swaps position with somebody else, and then you have everybody else just pile on the guy that just got pulled out of position, and that was, in my opinion, a lot more useful. So, good on them for having the fancy intro. You know, piggy switchy guy was a lot more useful. So, it is what it is, I guess. See, that's disappointing, trying to cut back on mobile-style games. Hey, you know what? Fair. That is perfectly fair. Like, this is... I've said on the channel multiple times, you know, like, when it comes to this format and whatever else, I try to look at it like a single-player experience and try to avoid any part of the, you know, mobile side of things as much as possible. For what it's worth, was told as a matter of technicality that it, you know, it is officially out for demo on PC, not on phones. So at least that is technically an element there. All right. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, don't care. What's this? Let's see if we can find Piggy Guy. Because yeah, it's like you pay all the booze and then you get the shiny one. How about just random dude? Nifty. Now. Oh, it's the same guy. Okay, that's the piggy guy. Is that a pig now that I think about it? No, he's technically a wolf. Okay, I was seeing the iron boar from Dark Souls, okay? But yeah, no, that... Give me that dude, I guess. There we go. And we move right along. Okay. Let's go... What was this about? As far as what these other bits and pieces do, I ain't got a clue. Yeah, this part from a readability perspective, this is true of every, you know, game of this format. Like, they can color code them all they want. I have no idea what's going on here. And what's funny is it's not even limited to mobile games. Like, I had the exact same problem with Bloodborne. I'm like looking through the inventory. I'm like, I don't understand any of this. That thing's a spear, though. I'm gonna use that. Anyway. Alright, let's go ahead and continue on here. Let's go here. Yeah, I don't know if, because it's a demo, if this guy is guaranteed or not. Yes. They do a lot of chattering. No, we're not ending our turn. Okay. You go ahead and go there. You go ahead and go there. Probably about thereabouts. You can go thereabouts. You go there. And that should be decent. Okay. Alright, now to show what I meant about this whole flippy deal. Alright, so move here, we go here, we do this, we flip this on this guy. Which moves you here, breaks their weapon, switches them around. Okay. Now they are flipped in place. Now, you should be able to go here and target this thing, poisonify this guy. Good, they exploded. This guy is also poisoned. And then, let's see, you should go ahead and probably be able to do some shenanigans to this guy. DOTs should finish him off, I think. Yeah, as far as what these symbols do, I know there's a lot of different buffs flying around. I haven't quite figured out what the deal is with all of those as of yet. Anyway, we're mostly dealing with, mostly expecting DOTs to handle most of this situation here. Maybe we don't do that. Just do a basic against this guy. Go. Probably was unnecessary, but it's fine. Alright, then we burn that guy, charge that guy, charge that guy. should be good to go from there. And there we go. Now he turned into a giant flea monster thingy. So this is one of those transformations I was talking about. Again, we're going to skip over the dialogue. Long story short, wizard kill big bad guy is the deal. So we burninate the dude, and that should sort out that problem. Except, unfortunately, because of the whole poison is explosive thing, all the poison gas exploded nearby them, so that's not ideal, but whatever. Such is life sometimes. But, yeah, basically we'll get one more free unit, and then should be seeing Horse Guy show up in a minute. So that should sort that problem out. Alright, let's see. Random comment. Let's see. Don't care much for rock, paper, scissors, gameplay, Fire Emblem, etc. Rather do stats and armor fill that function. Like the way that... hang on. I just see, like, ETA or something. Poison did it? Oh, Eternal Poison did it. There we go. See, Karsha killed that style of tactics games for me. So, personally, I think it depends. Like, okay. Like, in my opinion, okay. Like, the whole Fire Emblem approach to it of you have... Like, let's say you have a certain amount of, a certain amount of pieces that'll do the job just fine. You know, you got your 3 basic weapon types, you got your ranged versions of those, you got your countering versions of those. From a board game perspective, it's simple enough to be reasonably cozy doing it that way. When it comes to the way that a lot of sort of mobile types do it, it oftentimes feels like maybe there's a few elements that are taken a bit too far. Only because, okay, here's the thing. That system works really well due to its predictability, but then a lot of unpredictable elements have a tendency to get stuck on top of that. So I don't know for sure, like, which version's going to be better or worse or whatever else, but, like, I know when Tor did it, loved it. In that particular case, it was just predictable enough, but that was largely because a lot of things were just locked into percentages. But again, it's hard to say which is better, because then you look at One Vision handling it all through stats, and it also works exceptionally well. So it's like, you know, it's hard to judge which one would necessarily work better in that case. Okay, burninate this guy. There we go. And the giant flea thing died. Alright, so yeah, we're doing our Lucavi fights 5 seconds into the game here. But yeah, no, I mean, for me personally, it all just depends on how it's done. Like, I guess mostly what it comes down to is, like, can you actually work around it? Because, like, I know for me personally, the earlier Fire Emblems and stuff like that, reasonably easy to work around all of that sort of thing. Around the time that they started adding all the different pairing mechanics or whatever else, I kind of felt like it got a bit overbloated, but again, I've been out of that series for a few years now, so can't really say for sure, but then really loved the way, again, that, you know, Tor did it. We've covered that one endlessly. But, like, let's say, taking a look at something like SOC from a couple years ago, right? Like, they had that whole element of different things countering each other, but reasonably speaking, in most cases, just good positioning, you know, doing your, like, spear overwatches, putting up barricades, things like that. You could reasonably play around that system. Like, even though it would throw out recommendations for, like, you know, you should bring these counters right over here, 9 times out of 10, you could just go in with your, you know, with your team of, like, DOTs and counters and stunners and stuff like that, and end up just fine. So, either way. Alright. And actually, I will say, for what it's worth, that one over there is part of the reason that I don't immediately write, like, you know, quote-unquote mobile stuff off at this point, necessarily, just, like, right off the bat. Simply put, because, like, that was my initial impression of that one, and then, like, you know, ended up being one hell of a thing. So, obviously, it's hard to say. It's hard to say with a lot of these things, but, I don't know, that's just kind of my random rambling 2 cents on that particular thing. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, like I've said before, I'm here for the chessboard. Okay, so let's... Is that everybody on here? We have a deploy of 5 for this one. Alright, you know what? Okay, whatever. We'll run it with 4, and then we'll just pick up one more guy in a minute. Yep, it's perfectly fine. We're apparently in a sewer or something. I don't know what we're doing here exactly, but those are some very big pipes for this time period. They've got some impressive metallurgy. Throw you about here. Throw you doing the obvious thing. Have you run into barrel. Barrel go boom. Nifty nifty. The wizard guy ideally would set them on fire, but he was slightly too far away, so I guess that's not happening. And if I recall correctly, this might be another one that has a transformation of some description. But we'll see. See, Vandal Hearts also overdid it. Good pairing, 1 to 2 KO. Bad pairing, 10%. Yeah. It was so fun to watch, though. Vandal Hearts was one of those ones that was just kind of fun to lose just because it was so needlessly violent. And exactly, it's always fun to discuss opinions on niche things just because it never comes up. Alright, go ahead and Shopify this dude. Chop. There we go. And in the interest, you know, actually... Yeah, I'm gonna have him move over here. Get the you get a buff for picking up the fruit over there. It's like this is what I mean. I like stuff like that where you've got field effects. This is actually something that I was praising Together in Battle for also. Like those situations where it's just like random. I guess sometimes it's random, sometimes it ain't. But just like those moments where you end up finding just bits and pieces that allow you to turn stuff around, just on the map somewhere. You know, random buff items, random, you know, areas that might be good for dodging or defending or whatever else. It just feels good to find those little moments. And granted, TIB was, like, entirely built around that. So there's that, too. But, like, you know, it's good to have those moments. Anyway, so, this is why I love the whole flippy thing, though. So, you go here. He goes here. He flips around with this one, right? You do the flippy thing from right there. We go. Now he did the flippies. Now you're going to go backwards. Now you are going to go and detonate this entire group. Maybe even just throw an AoE. And then the secondary explosion will go ahead and nuke everybody else. You know, as you do. And then the horse guy goes back and finishes them off. See, it has stuff. It has the moments. So that's just how it goes sometimes, you know? It's like I don't know exactly what is going to end up happening once everything's all said and done or whatever else, but I do know that it's fun to do those kinds of combos, so it's nice. Alright, go ahead and nuke that one there. I haven't seen any downside to losing any units. They just kind of immediately pop back up, so I'm assuming we're operating off triangle strategy logic, but I don't know. Maybe something else is different. We should go look at the Magical Advice Tentacle first. Magical Advice Tentacle, what do you got for me? Leave the enemy swordsmen and bows below to the Spear Cavalry and deal with those above. Well, that's a bit too late, because I kind of used the Spear Cavalry to go and do the whole pincer attack thing, so... Never mind. We had a better idea. Alright. There we go. Burning... Oh. Well, okay, I guess they got that going for them. Apparently they've got that one mechanic. So I guess pre-sniping wizards with an archer is a thing in this one, so that's good to know. I do like that as a mechanic. Like, when it comes to archers, they always have a little bit of a hard time finding a niche in games like this, because it's always either like they're super overpowered, see, you know, like Tactics Ogre PSP, Triangle Strategy, that sort of thing, or completely underpowered, and they oftentimes have a hard time finding a balance. So I do like when they're made to be like the trick shooter guy, like in this case where they're just like pre-shooting a wizard for targeting them. That's neat. Alright, give me this thing. I want only the cheapies. Give me the cheapest cheaps you got. No. How about somebody that isn't like a freaking wizard? Got like some archers for me or something? You know what? You'll work. He says he's a raider. He looks more like a town guard, but you know what? That's fine. What else you got here? Sure. This guy needs shoes. I don't think we want to hire the guy that can't figure out how to put on shoes. Seems like he's going to be a disease risk. Another one of these guys. Perfect. More cavalry seems solid. Guard? Sure, why not? Now, what about somebody with a bow, please? One more cavalry? Sure. Nifty. No, get your fancy intro out of here. You know what? You don't count. I'm not using you. Get your fanciness out of here. Right. Do we not have basic archers? Okay. Maybe there aren't basic archers yet. I don't know. Genuinely, no clue. Anywho, moving on. Okie dokie. So, what is this? Don't know. What is this? Sure, I don't know what I'm looking at here. Okay. Let's go ahead and go back here. Go back here and see about turning all these dudes into something else. I want to see some of these transformations happen, if we have time here today. Alright, Mr. Fancy Dude, what do you got? Some level ups, sure. Yeah, so there's a level cap for what it's worth. Okay. Apparently already at the maximum. Sure, why not? Okay, what do we got for ranks here? Sure. Whatever that is. Do they get to eat more paperwork? Okay, please eat the paperwork. Go. See, this is something that I'll occasionally do out of curiosity. I just like take one dude and then just dump everything into them just to see the differences between if you level dump one character or if you just stick with your basics or what have you. The results are oftentimes pretty interesting. All right. Like in my opinion, the mark of a good SRPG, regardless of format or whatever else, is like if even if a character has everything completely dumped into them, that they cannot simply charge straight through everything, that they cannot completely steamroll everything. And even when something is objectively overpowered, like let's say we take a look at something like a Gaff over an FFT, like yeah, objectively the dude is freaking nuts, but they are still easily going to get overwhelmed by 2-3 archers. So anyway, congratulations on some shinies, goody. We have 45 grand of those, so I don't think that's much of a thing to worry about. How do I get out of here? Go for these. And what else we got here? What about you? What is fast transfer? This. What does that do? Did I delete them? I don't know what I did there. Yeah, this guy, apparently. I guess his name is Robbie. And this guy's name is Devin. This is Devin, the heavily armored guy with apparently very heavy leggings, but it's just super windy around here. This dude's standing in a tornado. That looks like heavy steel rings, what I'm assuming is some kind of multiple plates of gambeson and leather and whatnot. Man, this place is windy as hell. Alright, anyway. Moving on, we'll go ahead and put Spear Guy to work, I suppose. Take a look at what we're seeing here. Okie dokie. Throw one of these out here. Ah, that's some good coffee. Okay. Now, how can we do for 3 for 3? What do we got here? Bunch of randos. Got these guys, these guys, these guys. Let's replace you with you. Let's take you off there, put you on there. I do kind of like that they're deployed as cards. It is I kind of wish you could just click and unclick rather than deploying them as cards, but whatever, it's fine. Okay, Alright, so we'll see the difference between a 1 and a 15 here in a second. Movement range isn't necessarily anything different. What does the thinking tentacle tell us? Oh no. Okay. What are we looking at here? That guy's gonna burn. Out of curiosity, did it reset my settings? I feel like it went back to... No, the voices are still off. The sound effects are just not... Maybe I'm not zoomed in far enough for the sound effects to happen. Oh, there we go. Yeah. You zoom in a little bit more, you get your sound effects. Apparently they're based off location. Alright, Spear Guy is still holding up. Now let's go ahead and compare with the super advanced guy. Alright. Yeah, so for what it's worth, despite being dramatically... Like, this guy's easily more than double this guy's level. Main difference seems to be in bulk, as far as I can tell, so I'm okay with that. Like, it doesn't seem... Like, even when he's going and attacking at advantage versus this guy... Actually, no, he's got... Well, he actually has multiple debuffs stacked on him. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Like, that's one of those arguments that can honestly go both ways, because I've seen people get mad at me for that exact thing, saying, no, then it... it discourages people from doing the grind and whatever else, but I don't really see that as necessarily a bad thing, but, to each their own. It's really one of those to each their own kind of things. Because sometimes the grind is good, sometimes the grind is kind of whatever. Just depends entirely on context. Anyway, burninate those two. Get their DOTs. I think part of the reason that the sound effects aren't quite keeping up is because I set it to 2 times speed. So that'll probably be part of it for sure. Okay, and it's starting to get towards night. It is possible that some of those transformations only happen during certain times of the day. Not entirely certain. Yeah, you just go ahead and go for this one, break his weapon. Which really, weapon damaged is just, weakened by a different name, but that's fine. Okay. Yep. Don't really know what Target of All does. Actually, this is one of those things I meant to point out earlier. So, as far as guides on what counters what and what have you, they have... like a whole interactive system here. Like, you've got the classic, weapon triangle over here. You've got, bows taking care of flying things and whatnot. But this is kind of an interesting one as far as elemental reactions. So you got, like, fire mixing with gas and ice. So, like, it melts ice, explodes gas. Gas mixing with water creates, like, infection, which is apparently some kind of toxin. Ice mixing with water creates freezing. Water goes and conducts electricity. Like, this is the kinds of stuff that I wanted to see Triangle Strategy do more of. And yes, we are permanently just forever complaining that Triangle Strategy didn't make more use of its systems. That's just what we do around here. Anyway. I don't know whose turn it is. It's apparently yours. Roastify this man, please. There we go. Yo, one's down, one's gone. Seems like it's going to be more or less about that. Go ahead and run down this guy. This one is on fire, so he's likely already done. This guy is not much of a heavy hitter. Do that. You set this one on fire. Why are you unable to do that? Cannot use normal attacks. Okay. Good to know. Well, you go ahead and move over here. You're apparently shackled. And or whatever its local equivalent is. Okay, and apparently did bad enough that the tutorial knight showed up. To show up and claim credit for everything, even though this is clearly a win already. But alright, whatever. Fine, fine. You killed that guy at 2% health. Totally needed your help there, sir. Elemental effects look nifty? Yeah, exactly. And again, they've got ideas here. This is... When it comes to whether or not, like a mobile game thing is going to be, a good thing or a bad thing. Personally, to me, it's all about the chessboard. Like, in my mind, all of the ginormous designs for the armor and whatever else, like, yeah, I'm going to always make fun of that kind of sort of thing. But as far as whether or not the chessboard works, like, I'm seeing cool ideas on the chessboard here. That's what I'm here for. So, it's got some ideas. And we'll see how it ends up panning out over time. That's why I'm saying in both this and the first impressions thing that's going out tomorrow, basically just saying, like, if you want to throw out some ideas, give them something to look at, then just go ahead and let them know. Go do the playtest. Like, go let them know what you think. All right. I'm just looking through what's available on the team here. Fine with all of these ones. You're too fancy and you're not getting used. We're here to go and kill things, not do a L'Oreal commercial. This dude does not have shoes, and that's just unsanitary. We're not doing that. This dude is very useful, but we're gonna go ahead and stubbornly refuse to use him. Okay. Anywho. Yeah, it looks like it says something to the tune of whether or not the fight will end in like 15 rounds or something. Maybe that's when stuff starts getting all transformation-y or whatever. I don't know. It has not happened yet. You go ahead and switchy positions with this guy. Go ahead and kidnap him a little bit. Do that whole thing. You're gonna go ahead and go over here and just kind of sit tight. Go to your health restoring tile, and you are going to go ahead and walk over this direction. And just kind of sit here. Perfect, perfect. It's down, a little bit of an archery kind of thing. Yeah, that's the same kind of moves that Fancy Archer Lady got. But we are not using her out of pure stubbornness. Because dang it, we don't have time to be watching those fancy intros around here. Alright. Let's see. Just finish. No, that guy's already on fire. He's gonna finish himself. Go and do that. You'll take a counter, but that's all right. You go here and attack this one. Okay. You're actually just gonna go here. Not gonna attack anything because there's no point in that. You're just gonna sit here and actually, you know what? Probably just sit in position as you are. You stay in place. You do the choppy chops on this guy, which is going to be going at a disadvantage, but I'm going to have these two switch positions next round. Seeing as those tiles in the center are healing ones, so they can go ahead and swap some stuff around there. I probably should have the Axe Cavalry move back that direction as well, but again, these guys are all on fire, so that's useful. You go ahead and go here. Go ahead and attack this guy from here. Perfect. You're going to go around and hit him from this direction. I think he still counts as on fire. So this might be enough to finish him off. I think fire is like 25% or so. Something along those lines. You can probably start running down this... Yeah, no, hit that guy. And fire should clear them both off. This one is currently not going to be doing any counterattacking. Also, I've seen a few times, I don't know if it's a mistranslation, but I think it was something that looks like surrender. So there might be a surrender mechanic. I don't know. But that'd be pretty neat if there was. So we'll see if that ends up shaking out anywhere. So that would be good if it's there. Kind of a risky spot to put him, because that's right next to the explosive barrel, but I'm hoping that no one has the range to reach him there. Just going to continue eating counters at disadvantage here, because you're going to keep healing. He almost out-heals the damage he's taking. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It's kind of the equivalent of FTL and going in with your medbay. Alright. Go ahead and go over here. Just gonna sit tight. Now you sit in place. One more, and he's good. There we go. Done deal. Human strike walking. Oh crap, everybody's going on strike. That's a shame. I knew we shouldn't have thrown them into a war zone and paid them in apparently horseshoe crabs. Oh well. And we got some mild willpower out of that, apparently. Which I'm assuming is meant to be souls, by the way, because it looks like souls, it acts like souls. I'm assuming it's souls. Get some chest thingy. Get to... What is this? A piece of paper. It does something. Volume 1 of the Mercenary Compendium written by a legendary mercenary writing a small amount of experience during mercenary training. It's just like Snake talking about how to use a box. You have to go into the box. Your life is in the box. Alright, we can sell these. A small shard of foreign matter attached to a faint corpse, usable as material to upgrade Tier 2, or you can sell it. Nifty, nifty, you can feed people souls. Alright. What about you? Can we feed you souls? Just find it funny that his name's Devin. I don't know why I find that so funny. He is just Devin. Devin the spear guy. Alright, apparently cannot upgrade him more. I guess he's already somewhat upgraded. Shield guy, we got horsey guy, we got heavy horsey guy, and he gets a unicorn. But currently he is just big stabby guy that has big stabby stick. What about you? Can we promote you or whatever? Please, we do one of these things. Yes, maybe. Apparently not. Never mind. What about you? Can you do a thingy? No, you need some kind of item. What about you? Apparently not. Okay, we cannot do that. Cannot put a stick through his nose. We do not have the required thingamadeals. Good. Oh, we can do a couple of these. Okay. And we need whatever this is. What is this? I don't know what this is. But whatever it is, we need one. I guess it's some kind of like Knight's Crest or something. It kind of looks like it's meant to be like a Knight Crest kind of deal, if we're using Fire Emblem terminology. Alright. And we continue on. What do we got here? Some Caligula-looking guy with a bent tower shield. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. If you listen very quietly... Oh, no, I think that's actually just part of the ambient noise. There's like somebody giving a speech in what sounds like Chinese in the background. Weird. Alright. That's kind of neat. Okay. So just defeat the spear cavalry. I have entirely the wrong loadout for this, but whatever, it's fine. Let's go ahead and move you here. Wait, have you move and wait. Everybody else just needs to sit tight while that one dude gets close. So for you, you're going to go ahead and swap with this one. Yep. You're going to go ahead... Actually, no, you're going to go run up and stab him. I think he tried to burn him, but didn't. Not entirely sure what happened there. Either way, he's on fire, his weapon's broken. Good to go. Now, I know this is one of the ones that's going to do the whole transformation thing. I don't know if that's what that icon indicates. But he's gonna need to be burned in a second here. Okay. So they're all relocated. Fortunately, wizard guy's in a bit of a bad way here. You attempt to hurt this guy a little bit. Not very successfully, but you're going to at least try. Okay. Okay, you're going to hurt him there. See, do I recommend Eternal what? Hang on, I'm gonna put a thing real quick. Because unfortunately I have to, like, move the screen up every time. Move it up slightly. Eternal poison? I feel like I've heard of that one. Where have I... I know I've heard of that before. That sounds very familiar for some reason. Like, I feel like it was one of those ones that was, like, on one of these lists of, like, ridiculously niche games that nobody's ever played. But I could be wrong on that. I gotta Google that real quick. Hold on. What does it look like? Yeah, this... Yeah, that is the one I'm picturing. Hold up. Yep, okay, it's another one of these, like, creature capturing type of deals. That's what it was. I think I was looking into stuff that was similar to, let's say stuff that was similar to, like, Monster Sanctuary or whatever it was. Don't know. Alright, also this one might end up being a loss here. We'll find out in a sec. Really, the trick for this one is that you definitely do not want to be losing your wizard so early. Because even if you end up losing a few characters, Backup Knight does come by to sort out the problem, kind of, and if you have a wizard, you can still deal with his second phase, but as it stands right now, this is absolutely not going to go well. You just hit this guy. See, it's better if you ignore the creature capturing mechanic. Alright, fair enough. It's kind of funny that, like, that's how it oftentimes felt with like Legend of Mana. There, it was just like, here's this game that's so much easier to play if you ignore 90% of what's going on. Really good game, but it's just always kind of funny to me. Like, every time that I go back and look at it, it's just like, there's so much you can ignore there. But anyway, like, it's not even a bad thing. Okay, keep attacking this one. They're just about at the point of getting their transformation going. If yeah, there it goes, or maybe not. Yeah, where's this? Go ahead and restart it real quick. Restart it real quick, and we'll get one of them, well, a couple of them wizardly type of deals here. I feel like the wolf riding guy potentially got nerfed since last time. I'm not sure. I'm not certain, but I feel like it was. Take him off the board for right now. Spear guy's fine. Got a second one of them wizard type deals here somewhere. Do I even want to do that? You know, actually, let's just go ahead and pull out of this thing entirely. Get one of them Wizardlingtons upgraded a little bit. Okay. Go to you. Only got none of this type stuff. I can't really do much with that guy. Right, what do we use all these? What are these horseshoe crabs for? Already upgraded him, though. Yep. Okay, yeah, I have no idea what's going on there. Oh, okay, right. So, this is what I was saying earlier. This is where I think it should, like, properly start. If there is an option to skip, I wish it would just start right here. Because you, like, this is basically the sort of, like, classic, kind of, like, ogre battle type of intro that you suddenly get here. But this is kind of when at the moment when all the mechanics seem to start opening up. Let's see. So the classic, like, what do you do if your army rebels? Well, just maybe don't do that. Actually, no, it's your job. Whatever. Let's see. What's the main reason you lost a battle you joined? Well, like, this dude showed up with a broken sword, so that's already a problem. But, I mean, if you're attacked by a bear, that's a bit of a problem, too. I'm sorry, they had war bears. What do you want me to do against that? And they grant your greatest wish. What are you willing to pay? I mean, this just sounds like a benefit. Perpetual solitude? Yes, please. And clearly that's the obvious answer there. Okay. Okay. Get your royalty levels, whatever those do. Presumably you can max those all out for something or other later. And this thing needs a name. Anyone got a name? Default's just gonna be potato. Or mass shoulder pads. There we go. Already have that? Fair enough. We'll just go ahead and go with mass shoulder pads. There we go, that'll do. I know, it's an art style used everywhere. I just can never not make fun of the, like, those situations when it looks like somebody's gonna break their spine by putting on their armor, you know? Okay, get a recruit, and you do the thing, and then you select the thing, but we already did the thing. Except apparently we gotta buy more things to do the other thing where we buy more things. Okay, thank you. Are we good now? Nifty. We good now? Okay, good. I was allowed to leave. Now out of curiosity, what can you do with these dealies over here? Okay, dragon scales. I still say they look like horseshoe crabs. So let's go over to this thing. Am I allowed to click on it? Apparently I'm not allowed to click on it. Okay. Now, out of curiosity, if you allowed us to buy the other dealies, for this one, are we allowed to buy these some sucheries? Apparently you gotta... Well, they tell you where to go farm them, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, for right now, though, I do gotta start wrapping it up, though. So I think we'll give it one more go on this one, and then yeah, we'll go from there. This, go on this. Already have that, the pauldron, the Giga pauldron. All right, but yeah, we'll give it one more go, and then I gotta get ready for other stuff today. You wants me to stop clicking on things, I think. I might have clicked on too many things and might have gotten a little bit stuck. See, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I love the oversized pauldron. WoW had it right. I mean, I guess it depends. Like, it depends, but like, okay, here's the thing. If it's like a mega fantasy kind of setting, okay, cool. And granted, I know this is too. I'm just saying, like, in general, when a story wants to be taken seriously as like a grim kind of situation, generally speaking, I prefer to see, you know, more sensible proportions because it makes them more believable and therefore a bit more, you know, mentally disturbing when somebody gets ripped to pieces because it's like, oh, that's relatable. That was a person. So that's just, I don't know. That's my 2 cents on the matter. Anyways, apparently I have clicked too many things and had too many windows open at once, so we are apparently hanging out at this screen at the moment. But that's okay. We're going to have to start wrapping up here anyway. So with that all being said, remember, y'all, to go give the playtest a bit of a look, do the whole wish listy kind of deal, whatever have you. If you're interested, that's over in the description there. And thank you again to the developers of this whole thing for going and sponsoring this channel for this one. And thank y'all for stopping by this evening. I know it was a little bit of a random evening, but you know what? It's a nice day. It's a nice day. Also, we had, over here in Michigan, we had winter for the longest time. It finally got warm for like 2 days. It was beautiful. And then it just decided to start snowing again, so that's awesome. We're just right back to snow. Apparently it's the last snow, and then it was the last day, and then the last 2 days, and now it's just like snowing the whole next week, so beautiful. Anyway, so y'all have yourselves a good one. Take care, and yeah, I will see y'all in the next one. And yeah, we have a few interesting things coming up soon here, so hopefully we'll be all good at that point. So take care. Thank you all for stopping by, and I'll see you later.